Welcome to Cut the COVID Crap Part 84. The Nuremberg violations are worse than I realized. Why are they worse than I realized? Um, Brett Weinstein, in his latest Dark Horse podcast, triggered me for it. Why is it? I knew the Nuremberg Code, but if you look at the Nuremberg trials, and again, Brett Weinstein, his podcast is fantastic, 2 hours long, but the gist of it is there was a separate doctor's trial in Nuremberg, and um, uh, at the end of the trial, 7 doctors were hanged for uh, the main indictment that they were charged on was performing medical experiments without subject consent. Now the thing is, before the Nuremberg trials, what doctors had to go by was the Hippocratic Oath: first, do no harm. Based on that, they were sentenced to death with this and similar charges. So there was no Nuremberg Code then. It's purely based on the first do no harm principle. These people were put to death. They were hanged, and only after that, because you cannot be charged by based on law that's only going to be implemented later. Only after that, after the Nuremberg trial, they made the Nuremberg Code, saying what it basically comes down to. Just to be clear, you need informed consent. Just to be clear, there should be no coercion. So these doctors were hanged based on purely the violation of the Hippocratic Oath. After that, after the hang, you get the Nuremberg Code saying, just to be clear, amongst other things, you need informed consent and there should be no coercion. And fast forward to the COVID period, and especially in Western Australia, where the premier resigned yesterday, 70% of the workforce had to choose between either getting vaccinated or losing their job. That is coercion. You couldn't go to restaurant unless you're vaccinated. That's coercion. You couldn't travel without getting vaccinated. That's coercion. And were we informed? In many cases, in different countries around the world, did we have insight in the adverse reactions? In many cases, the adverse reactions were, we're not going to talk about it. We're nothing to see here, right? Because it would create vaccination hesitancy. Really? Well, COVID is no big deal anymore. But if people still go by these days with the information that's available now, still go by this was the right thing to do at that time, well, realize that it was a gross violation of the Nuremberg Code, which was created after 7 people were hanged for violating the Hippocratic Oath. Interesting if people are gonna admit that they maybe should have thought differently, or whether gonna stick to their opinions until something bigger happens. Anyway, make of it what you think. The links are below.